several years ago, you told Larry King that you have a theory that everybody in Boston is at least one can short of a six pack. We're all a little bit off, you said. So
Yes.
you've been living in California for a while now. Do many Californians have full six packs?
Almost nobody in California is from California, so there's that. And there's a lot of Boston people here. But the thing with Californians that people say is there's no there. That's what you hear. They're all very sweet and they're all very kind of flatliney, at least the native Californians I've met. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying that of the native Californians, I see what people say. They're just everybody's just very pleasant. And they'll be like Corona. They'd say, yeah, man, it's a bummer. That's as far as you get. You know what I mean? It's a bummer, man. Like I can't surf, So you see a little of that. There doesn't seem to be a high or a low of emotion. It's sort of all just pleasant. Just goes along. That's what I see with Californians.
And what is it about Bostonians with the six pack or two missing? I mean,
I don't know. We're just nuts. We're nuts. We really are. And heavily caffeinated, like just a kind of isn't that, New Yorkers kind of are in the ballpark too. I mean, there's just this sense of we got to go, man. We got things to do. And I just find the people I grow up with just have a way of looking at the world that is different. I just never know what's going to come out of people's mouths. Still instead just texting with my buddies back home. I just never know what's gonna, what's gonna come out. It's not going to be 100% serious. I think that's a big thing. Is that there's a real mistrust of sentimentality. That's one thing I notice. Maybe just among my friends, but I do notice that Bostonians don't tend to be terribly sentimental, except about like the Red Sox and Belichick.
In the TV and film that you have watched since the virus hit, are you distracted by how little social distancing there is?
Yes, everybody. It's like when you see the World Trade. I was showing my girls Trading Places the other day. Edited. They're little kids. I showed them the edited version. I found it on TV and I taped it for them so they could watch it. It's one of my favorite comedies. And the World Trade Center shows up at the end, these huge shots of the World Trade Center. And you know how jarring that still is, right? Like you see it in the background in Friends and you're like, whoa. Social distancing, suddenly it's like, yeah. I mean, suddenly you see people like kissing. You're like, why are you kissing? You see like concert scenes and you're like, aren't you people 6 feet apart? What's going on here?
I found that I'm finding that I'm not distracted by this so much in novels. And maybe that's because the reader has the option of putting their characters a little further apart.
Right. Yeah, I think it's something like that. I do feel curious what this is going to be like 6 months from now when we supposedly feel safe. But will we ever go back to to me, hugging still feels like it's possible. You know what I mean? Like you can bro hug or hugging somebody. I feel like that's possible, but the handshake to me seems now like a barbaric. You know what I mean? Like, can you believe people did that?
Have you been able to write it all while you've been?
Yeah, I had to. I didn't. I just went through. We talked before this started. I went through a scare where I thought my daughter might have it. So for 5 days, I couldn't do anything. I literally I couldn't concentrate. But I was doing a massive rewrite of a script that I wrote like 5 years ago that is now going into production. So I'm doing a production rewrite of that. And I was steaming along until my daughter spiked 104-degree fever. And then I was just off the rails until we got the COVID test results back. So today, right after this, is going to be my first time crawling back in. But normally, I have no problem writing. It doesn't matter because it's my life. This didn't change my lifestyle dramatically. It changed my lifestyle, but it didn't change it dramatically because I spend most of my time in my house anyway. Writing, reading, watching stuff.
Well, Dennis, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Oh, sure. No problem.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and that you're able to continue to stay safe.
Same with you and your fam.